When does workers' compensation begin paying benefits in Colorado? Workers' compensation can be a confusing process for employees facing a workplace injury. This is the worst time to find yourself trapped between your employer, an insurance company, and government regulations. For workers in this situation, you are desperately trying to understand how to get yourself medical care and financially support your family. Unfortunately, many injured workers find themselves lost with an employer and insurance company trying to avoid paying work comp benefits. To protect yourself, you should talk to an experienced workers' compensation lawyer right away to make sure you get the benefits due under Colorado law as quickly as possible. What benefits does Colorado workers' compensation pay to injured workers? Workers' compensation in Colorado and other states pay injured workers different forms of benefits depending upon the type of injury, length of work restriction, and degree of disability. Benefits may range from a few days to a lifetime for permanent injuries. Work comp benefits may include coverage for all necessary and reasonable medical treatment related to the work injury or illness, payments for doctor visits, hospital stays, surgeries, medications, physical therapy, and other medical expenses, compensation for lost wages during the period of recovery when the injured worker is temporarily unable to work. Generally, temporary disability benefits are 2/3 of the average weekly wage, subject to a maximum limit set by the state. If the injury results in a permanent impairment, workers may receive compensation for permanent disability. The amount is based on the nature and extent of the disability, the worker's age, and the average weekly wage. Assistance for injured workers who need retraining or rehabilitation to return to suitable employment. This may include vocational training, education, and job placement services. If a work-related injury or illness results in death, the dependents of the deceased worker may receive death benefits. This typically includes compensation for funeral expenses and a percentage of the worker's average weekly wage. Reimbursement for reasonable and necessary travel expenses incurred for medical treatment related to the work injury. Compensation for permanent disfigurement or scarring resulting from a work-related injury. In some cases, specific injuries or disabilities may entitle the injured worker to additional benefits, such as dismemberment benefits or specific loss benefits. It's important to note that workers' compensation is a no-fault system, meaning that employees are generally entitled to benefits regardless of who caused the workplace injury. However, in exchange for these benefits, employees typically give up their right to sue their employer for negligence in most cases. The specific details of workers' compensation benefits can vary, so it's advisable for workers to familiarize themselves with the regulations in their state and consult with their employer or legal counsel if needed. When can I begin receiving work comp benefits in Colorado? One common question experienced workers' compensation lawyers in Colorado receive is, when do I start receiving benefits? This is an important issue for injured workers who often rely on a consistent paycheck to financially support their families. Most benefits begin shortly after your workplace injury, but may require you to take action to invoke your right to benefits. You may receive medical benefits immediately for your injury. If you are injured at work, you are entitled to receive emergency care if necessary right away. You can receive reimbursement for emergency room visits even if you report the injury or treatment afterwards. If you are injured at work, you may be transported to a hospital for treatment right away. Work comp medical benefits begin paying for related treatment immediately. In situations where your injury or workplace illness is not immediate, you can seek reimbursement for medical care once the relationship to the workplace as a cause is established. Work comp also pays lost wages for workplace injuries. Your starting date for benefits in Colorado depends on the length of your disability. You will begin receiving work comp wage benefits after you report the workplace injury and establish a claim for benefits. Under Colorado law, you must report a workplace injury to your employer within 4 days. You may have to pursue additional steps with the employer's insurance company or the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment Division of Workers' Compensation before you will receive benefits. What if my employer delays or denies my workers' compensation benefits claim? Employers often challenge workers' compensation benefits to avoid claims or to minimize claims. Like many other employment law claims, employers are unfortunately hostile to employee rights and employees pursuing claims under Colorado law. Your employer may try to ignore your injury report or refuse to report the injury to their work comp insurance carrier. You do not deserve to be treated this way after a workplace injury or illness. You should contact an experienced Colorado workers' compensation lawyer immediately to make sure you receive the benefits due under Colorado law. If your employer delays or denies your claim and you allow them to get away with it, you may lose out on wage compensation and medical care you desperately need. By delaying your claim, the employer makes it harder for you to pursue the medical care you need and make it harder to prove the consequences of your injury or a result of the workplace injury. Under Colorado law, you do not have to prove negligence or intentional bad acts like personal injury claims. You do have to prove that a workplace condition caused your injury or illness.